peace and positivity reflections, good energy to all. So in this video I just wanted to talk a little bit about astrology. Now I've never done a video on astrology, and the reason why is because I've never studied it. I know that I've been watching carbonation for over a year, and you know that's a pretty foolish thing to do um, for somebody who really agrees with the teachings of carbonation. As much as I do, it's not even, look up astrology at all is very, whatever. It's very foolish on my part, and it's something that, um, it just I feel very foolish. I feel kind of like almost like semi blasphemous, but it is what it is, man. I'm arrogant. I'm stubborn. That's in my natal chart, how I can be closed-minded about things, and it's just true. It's totally true. So anyway, but better late than never, man. So I'm here now. I'm being pretty diligent about it. I'm actually very excited about it. To be honest, it's really brought a lot of. It's just helping me see things even clearer. To be honest, so I just wanted to share with you guys the reasons why I think astrology is so good. For anybody, for anybody, especially for anybody who is, I really think astrology is good for people who don't really know anything about spirituality. Like, it's a real good introduction into spirituality, because once you start thinking about, once you start seeing planets symbolically, like knowing that each planet is representative of a certain type of energy or a certain type of entity or a certain type of pattern of thoughts or existence. Once you start really believing in that, and learning about energies, and knowing that everything is symbolic of energy, of a type of pattern, and things can be positive and negative. It really starts to open one's minds up into the cosmos, into an infinite universe. It helps take one's mind's eye, or just attention, away from Babylon, and puts it into a more organic way of viewing the universe. And I think also it will, if you really get into it, it's just going to lead you to an even, it's like you're just going to go deeper into spirituality, and then you're going to find out more about yourself, and then, from finding out about yourself, you can find out the type of things that you really love to do, and you can, and then from there you can figure out the things that, end up tripping you up, and that you need to learn from and be careful of, and maybe not entertain so much, or maybe cut off completely, and maybe adopt some other things. I mean, it's like, I guess simply put, for me, it's like having your own shrink. People spend so much money and time going to shrinks, that tell them, that are really just, you go to a shrink just so that they can sit there and analyze you and just tell you things about yourself that you really know. You just don't have an ability to kind of bounce them back. That's why it's so good to talk to people sometimes when you're going through emotional problems, is because that other person can be there from a healthy perspective while you're in some crazy sick perspective, because whatever's going on, they can be there in their rational mind and be like, yo, bro, stop tripping. You're reacting because this and this went on, but just remember, it's all because this and this happened. So you got to go through the motions, but just to have that type of a calm anchor point, which is what a shrink does. They very calmly sit and tell you things, and they do it from even a detached standpoint. That's why they don't. There's real strict rules about shrinks and stuff befriending their clients, and I know this because I've had my own shrinks, not anymore, but a long time ago. But my mother's been seeing a shrink for, I don't know, like a decade, not a decade, but for years now, the same one. And like, I've actually gotten to know him too, because just there was things that went on with my mom that it required the full family to get involved. So I've got a little bit of an in-depth experience and know-how as to the minds of a shrink and stuff. So I'm not just saying this out of complete ignorance or lack of experience. I do have experience. And they're not, and I think also that being a shrink, going after that job profession, especially the ones that do so without prescribing medication, I think that, that's one of the more nobler jobs that actually exist in Babylon. But I do think it can be very dangerous too, because you, just from example, like some of the few times that my mother's actually tried to kill herself, at least I know for one for sure, I'm pretty sure two of the incidences happened right after she left her shrink's house, like or right after she left her shrink's office, like literally leaving the office, she went and dumped a bunch of pills in her body, and then called her shrink, and he was the one who had to call the ambulance, and so they can be very dangerous. They can be very dangerous. Even from my own personal experience, I had a shrink once who, he told me he could trust that I could trust him, I could tell him anything, and this and that, and so I did, and he actually put me. He wanted to. He got so deep, and he still couldn't figure out what was going on with me. He wanted to put me under one day, and I was like, okay. So I let him hypnotize me, and I don't even know what happened, man. I just know that whatever happened, it scared him because I remember him putting me under, and then the next thing I remember is him waking me up and telling me that I had to leave, and that was about it. And then I got a letter from him like a couple weeks ago telling me that I was too intense for him, and that he wouldn't be able to see me anymore, and that he wished me the best, and that he hoped I see some other shrink. And that was it. And I was like, "What, man? Like I just like opened up to you about like everything, and like it was also at a time like we'd already had we already been seeing I'd already been seeing this dude for a couple of months, so we built up a kind of a good relationship, and I liked him, and he didn't prescribe drugs. He was very natural. Um, and then to have this kind of happen, it was just it messes with the mind. When you develop a relationship with somebody who tells you that you can trust them, like and then you feel like that's like, wow, I can trust this person. Like I'm safe. Like you feel safe about things. It's like, wow, this is somebody I can confide in. This is somebody I can go to. This is somebody whom I can, in confidence and trust in. Um, and so mentally that you akin that, you relate that to a family one, to a loved person, to somebody whom you know really well. These are the one type of people that you would probably be speaking some of your most intimate desires or things with, is somebody you know really well. So when that person that you've now entrusted and whom you know tells you that you can do all these things with, and talk with all these things about, when they go in and tell you that they can't see you anymore and that you can't talk to them anymore, it messes with the mind. It really does mess with the mind, because family, kin, having loved people, as hard as things get and as rough as things get, I mean, I feel like we should always maintain a level of communication to where we can always at least keep an opportunity open to resolve our problems. You know, but with the case, with the incident with this shrink, I had opened up to him on an intimate level and expressed the deepest embers of my being, so deep I don't even remember what I told him, but it was deep. I'm pretty sure. But to do that, and then to find myself like blocked from him, like subconsciously, just what that does to you, um, I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing. And then just for instance, like, and then with my mother, like she goes to this stranger. I mean, essentially a stranger. I mean, when I say stranger, I mean it's just like she really doesn't know him. I mean, she from the course of years of therapy, they've gotten to know each other all right. But essentially, he's just a stranger who studied, the workings of the mind based on the doctrines of today's medical field, and he managed to get himself an office and a little piece of paper saying that he knows this and that, and based on my mom's medical insurance and and her mental illnesses, she was directed into his area, that expertise or profession, and it ended up working out. But other than that, it's not like they befriended each other, or they found some type of a common goal to relate on. I mean, they do relate on the fact that he wants to help, and she's in need of help. But again, the whole shrink thing is kind of messed up too, because it also subconsciously, even if they're not trying to promote this type of behavior, I think just on an involuntary level, by them continuing to exercise these type of routines, as far as going to see these people every week or however often they do see them, they're telling, just by doing that, you're telling yourself that you're still incapable of helping yourself. You know, so I got off tangent there, but the whole shrink thing, like I said, and you also have to pay for it, and it, from what I've found, the best way to get better, to get out of your depression, is self help. Is to know yourself and to figure out, and to take self responsibility, like I made in the last problem, is to really analyze all the problems that are going on in your life and to realize why you created them, and then to objectively break down all of the everything that you've done with your life. All break down your lifestyle. Like, what are the good things? What are the righteous things? What are the unrighteous things? What are the clean things? What are the dirty things? What are the cipher things? What are the uncipher things? What are the things that are actually helping get you to your higher self, and what are the things that are actually keeping you from your higher self? That's really what objectively, and then from there you just pinpoint. It's like, okay, I did this. This is attached to that, which is attached to that, which eventually caused this. So maybe that's not good, or maybe it is good. Maybe I need to focus more on that. I mean, this is how, and this is why I love astrology, because astrology really can kind of be your shrink. It can be literally just a calm, cool, not even calm. It's just a neutral mirror, just objectively showing you the facts of who you are. That's it. Just who you are, the good and the bad. They don't sugarcoat it. They don't charge you. They don't do anything like that. They just tell you who you are, what what the parts about you mean, how they interact with other parts, and some things to watch out for and some things to look forward to. And then something, and then they even give you, and then you can take that deeper, and then you can start getting into spiritual knowledge and about learning to love yourself and purification and detoxing. And I mean, it just goes to show, like, my whole ability to heal myself and get over a lot of my own demons and obstacles in my past had absolutely nothing to do with the American medical system. All of my help, came from YouTube. It came from external sources, and this is also one of the main reasons why I feel like this whole America thing really is just symbolically a giant sign saying we need to take power back into our own hands. We need to stop entrusting in others and entrust in ourselves. And it's just like the fact that I have continued to get better. I mean, I know I'm still struggling with some things, but I still haven't gotten drunk, and it's been, I mean, I had that one day when I relapsed, but other than that one day, it's been, I think, over 40 days. Still no alcohol. My marijuana, it's getting better. I don't even really, it's getting better. I can just say that I enjoy my clear moments more. I enjoy being sober more, and more importantly, I'm realizing that, like, for a long time, I was still under the interpretation or the idea that marijuana was okay. Like, it's okay to smoke marijuana. Like, it's an herb, da 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 da. But and I'm not saying that it isn't okay. I'm just saying that I know for me and my evolution, it's. I think the herbs are here to help you heal. But you should get to a point to where you are healed, which means that you don't need the herb anymore. It can still be there, and whatever, whatever. But the way that I was partaking in the herb was of a, essentially, it was. I felt like I was abusing it. I got to a point where I was like, yo, I'm healed already. Like, I'm not that crazy. I know crazy because I've been crazy, and I know now that I'm not thinking like that anymore. So it's like, do I really need this, or am I just indulging? You know, is it holding me back, or is it actually helping me? I'm starting to feel like it was holding me back. So but that's something that you got to find within yourself. You gotta, and you can't rush these things. I mean, I know sometimes I've tried to quit and do all these things when I really wasn't ready, and I still don't even know if I'm really ready. I just know that for right now, in this moment, I feel good being just me, and I'm not, and I don't feel the desire. I'm not yearning for something else. I'm not yearning for a substance. So I'm okay with that. Like how long it'll last, who knows? But I know it's progress because I know what it's like also to be in a state of mind where you're constantly yearning for something to fill that void. Whether it be a substance, whether it be a food, whether it be a female, a friend, a text message, whatever, man. I know what it feels like to really be in that consistent state of fiend, of fiending for something, of living out your lower self, of not taking responsibility, which is where is really where it lies. That void comes from you not not paying attention to your needs, not paying attention to your soul. Your soul creates that void because it's like, yo, you have not been paying attention to me. You have not been listening to me. You've been ignoring me. You've been feeding me crap. You've been feeding me poison. You've been neglecting me. I'm about to die. I am dying. I'm in pain. So now there's a void. Now you're going to feel disconnected. You're going to feel loneliness. You're going to feel the essence of all the damage that you've done. You're going to feel pain because you put pain inside of you. So, I mean, I got a little off tangent here. I wanted to focus more on just astrology and kind of the sciences behind the method that I'm just kind of starting to theorize in my own mind. But you know, um, I go where my spirit takes me. So that's where it took me. So, all right. With that being said, I think I'm gonna shut this video down, and next video I'll try to be a little bit more concise and honed in on the type of message I'm bringing about, instead of just kind of talking and kind of just going off whatever thought pops in there. But it is what it is. So I love myself, and organize a good day. All right. Goodbye.